Hello, my name is Shantae, and here we are again for another episode of Parent to Parent. And we have with us today Janelle. Hello, Janelle.
Hi, how are you?
Doing good. And Janelle is going to share the story of her little one named Jolie. What is really cool about Jolie's story and Janelle's story is that she has a product line named after her. And Janelle, will you tell us how you ended up in the NICU unit?
Sure. I was actually 23 weeks and 5 days pregnant, and I um, spontaneously went into labor. So I ended up having Joey, obviously extremely prematurely, and because she was so tiny, she ended up passing a few hours after she was born. She was in the NICU while she was alive. It was a short amount of time, but I did have the experience in the NICU. And I don't think things like that just happen. I think it's definitely part of my bigger purpose. And so I've just been kind of trying to figure out a way to kind of honor her. And I kept dreaming about doing these beauty products, and I dreamt the name, I dreamt the logo. And so I was like, okay, Lord, I'm just going to listen to you and do what you say. And I'm just going to go ahead and, put this together. And the response has been great so far. So it's been a blessing out of something that's, that had me depressed for a really long time. But now I get to kind of spread awareness and help other people. So, I guess that's why it happened.
Yeah.
I won't know for sure.
I'm actually going to go backwards. You said you spontaneously delivered. Did they tell you what happened to cause that spontaneous delivery?
Um, to be honest, I have no answers. They did do an autopsy on her, but she was so small, it's kind of hard to get probably the sufficient samples and things like that that you need from a baby that's barely a pound. So her autopsy didn't really tell me anything. Um, from what they saw with me, everything was completely normal. So it's just one of those things I've had to kind of let it go in terms of trying to find out what happened, because I was obsessed with that for a really long time, trying to figure out why, and there's just nothing a doctor can tell me at this point. So yeah.
What's funny is, and I don't normally share a little bit, we have a similar situation. My little man was born at 26 weeks.
Oh wow.
And he survived 18 days. But
Wow.
yeah, and they really couldn't. They could give logistics, but they couldn't go into detail of this is what happened, this is why it happened. We are just now starting to dig down that road to figure out what happened.
Mhm.
While you were there, who supported you? Who was your support system?
You know, it the ah now I'm getting a little emotional.
Oh,
Um I was surrounded by so many people. I went into labor and delivered the baby at my sister's house. Like that's how
oh wow.
soon it happened. Like I was in labor all day, but I didn't know I was in labor. And I actually went to the hospital twice that day and they sent me home. They told me I had a bladder infection. I've had to let that go too because that had me angry for a really long time.
I can
Um,
completely imagine.
but I thought I had to use the bathroom, and all I heard was this popping noise, and that was my water breaking. And so I was in the house with my husband. Thank God, my husband was like 45 minutes away, and I was feeling so sick. I was like, "You have to come stay with me." I was at my sister's house, so my husband was there, my sister was there, her husband was there, and his cousin was there. So, and the house was supposed to be empty, by the way. I actually was at my sister's house because I was supposed to start planning the baby shower.
Oh wow.
Um, yeah, and my hospital is like 2 minutes away from my sister's house. If I was at home, I would have been about an hour away. So it just all kind of, you know, happened the best way possible. I don't know another way to say it. But so I had all those people with me. I had her by the time my water broke, it was maybe like a minute later she came out. So my husband actually delivered her. We were on my sister's couch.
That's amazing.
So yeah, it's a like I don't know. It's like if I don't talk about it, my mind will trick me that it was a movie, like it didn't happen.
Yeah.
Um, so I delivered her. The ambulance came like soon after, took us to the hospital, and I called my best friend, and I was like, I had the baby, and all I heard was what click, and it so happens that she happened to be with. It's a group of us. It's maybe like 5, 6 of us. She so
Mhm.
happened to be with all the girls. So it was like I had everyone leave my sister's house. Then my dad came, all my best friends came, 5, 6 girls. So
Yeah.
I literally had people there with me the whole time because it was just such a crazy situation. It's just funny how everything was kind of lined up in that way that I had a lot of support.
You had a tremendous amount of support. What would you tell someone who actually didn't have a lot of support? What kind of wisdom would you give them?
I would definitely say there are support groups. Even if you don't know people personally, um, losing a baby, it's kind of this. It binds you to people. If that's like me and you, like we're sisters now because this doesn't happen to a lot of people. So go
That's
to
true.
support groups, meet people, and you're gonna bond with those people because this it's not a everyday it's a unique position to be in. So if you meet someone and that happened to them, you guys are bonded. Like automatically you're gonna start having conversation that you don't have with other people. You're just gonna automatically click. So I would say support groups. If you can go in person, there are support groups online. I know blogging really helped me kind of get my feelings out and help me to connect with other women as well that went through similar things. So I would just say there's support out there. Don't be ashamed. Therapy, if you need it. I went to therapy too. I had to do all of it because I was in a bad shape. Just dealing with you know giving birth, my child passing so soon after, and then that crazy story that I told you about how everything happened. That was a lot for me to process. It was too much.
Yeah.
So I had a good support system with my husband, with my friends, my family, but I had to go to therapy for the extra help. Like I said, I blogged about it just to release all these feelings I was having. I read a lot of books. So there's support out there. You just can't be ashamed or too proud to beg for it because there are people out there that want to help.
I love the way you said that. I'm actually going to turn the page a little. While you were in
Hmm.
the NICU, even though she only lived for a few hours, what was a
Hmm.
happy or hopeful moment that you had?
Um, I was hopeful the entire time until when I remember the doctors came in and they asked if everyone could leave the room except the parents. Um, but besides that, I mean, she was born alive. She was like, I remember her wiggling her fingers and her toes, and in my mind, she was gonna be fine.
Yeah.
Um, in my mind, I was preparing to basically live in the hospital because I was like, she's so small. I know she's gonna be here for a long time. Like my spirits were actually um high the entire time until the doctor came in and he was like, I need everyone to leave for a little bit except the parents. And then that's when it just kind of hit me like, oh, it's going different than I thought.
Yeah. Um, what's funny is you've told a beautiful woven story. Will you tell everybody about your actual product line in honor of your daughter?
Sure. I've actually been into beauty pretty much my whole life. I wanted to start a beauty line actually right before before I found out I was pregnant with her, and once I was pregnant, I was just so tired and lazy. I didn't want to do anything. Um, so um, after that experience, I was just scared of everything. I just had so much fear in me. And once I had my son, a little bit after, maybe about a year he was born a year and a half after her. I kind of like started getting my strength back through giving birth to him, through being in church, through all the support and helping other people as well, because I was so open about what was happening. Um, that kept me going to see that I was helping people. And so the product line came about because I was thinking of a way to honor her, and I was like asking the Lord what I should do, and I kept dreaming about this product line, and I was like, what should I name it? I dreamt the name, and I was like, I don't know if I want to, put her name on something. It's so personal, and the dream wouldn't leave me, but the whole experience itself also kind of pushed me towards a more holistic lifestyle. So it's like the experience and her pushed me to take better care of myself, to read these the labels on the back of these products, because a lot of things that we use every day are actually not safe for us when we're pregnant. So it's like she kind of inspired me to kind of be more anal about everything I put on my body, everything I consume, everything I thought about. And so I don't know, it was just like one dream after the next, after the next, after the next, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna do it. And these little recipes that I had, I just started perfecting them so that I can sell them, and then I launched it on July 2nd of this year, which would have been her third birthday.
Wow.
So yeah, and it was kind of cool because instead of spending the whole day just in bed crying, I just had this outpour of support. I had like 20 something orders on my first day, which that made me
Okay, that is
emotional too. So
awesome.
yeah, it was just it was like happy tears, sad tears, just a whole mixture of emotions that day. It was a lot going on, but it kept me busy, having to pack these orders up and things like that. So, I mean, it's just been good so far, in terms of having more people know her name and having her touch people that have never met her or didn't get a chance to meet her.
Any closing remarks that you want to leave for parents? Whether they've had a micro preemie in the NICU or whether they've experienced some kind of loss. Any closing wisdom that you want to share with either group?
Um, I would say it's okay to be emotional. um, because a lot of times people, they don't really understand what you're going through, and so it's when you cry or you're having a moment, they don't get it, and you don't really get it because you're going through a lot yourself. But it's okay. If you have a micro preemie, it's okay to have a moment to cry. Like that's a lot that you're dealing with. Seeing your baby in this state. I mean, no one goes into pregnancy thinking that these things are going to happen. So it's okay to have a moment. Although you have to be strong, of course. But take a second. It's okay. You can cry sometimes. You're human. You have to let that out. You might be a little angry. You might be a little sad, and you kind of feel like you can't say those things because for whatever reason society makes it seem like you have to be a robot with certain things. But if you have experienced loss, um just take it day by day. That's literally all you can do. Like, don't think too far into the future. Just try to get through each day. um I'm always about having something around that reminds me of my daughter, because like I said, sometimes our mind would trick me into thinking that she didn't exist. So, you know, like I have like her urn is right there. I can see it. It doesn't make me sad, but I know she's here. I have like her little
Yeah.
memory box. I had like her outfit when she was in the NICU and her handprint, things like that. You know, speak your child's name. Like, this is your child. This is a person that existed. Doesn't matter how short of a time, how tiny they were. This is your child, and they exist. So don't let anyone tell you different. I know a lot of people don't really understand it. Like I hate when people say Grayson is my first child, who's my son. He's not my first child. I've given birth before. You know,
Yeah.
Jolie has a birth certificate and she has a death certificate. Like that, she's my firstborn. He's my second. You know, and he's only one now. He's almost two, but he's going to know that he has a big sister in heaven. It's not gonna. It's not like a, you know, a morbid thing. Yeah, but she exists, and she's the reason why my husband and I have been motivated to do a lot of things that we wouldn't have done before. So he's gonna always know he has a big sister, and you know, that's just what it is. I mean, and I know like a mom, she does acts of kindness for her daughter. She recently had a stillborn. So she does things like she'll just pay for someone's food that's behind her, things like that.
Yeah.
And she did it like in the name of her daughter that passed. So it's kind of like they're able to touch people without actually being here. So, you know, find what works for you. Don't let anyone tell you you're weird. You know, just, you know, if you want to pray and, you know, talk to your child at night, do that. If you want to write them letters, like they're going to be a part of you forever. And don't let anyone tell you how to grieve your child if you do experience loss, because, I mean, there's no book written on it. You just have to kind of figure it out and take it day by day.
Well, thank you very much, Janelle, for sharing your story. It's been wonderful talking to you. Again, remember the Jolie Bloom product. Do you have a website?
Sure. All the products are available at www.joliebloom.com. For 2015, I am working on putting together a nonprofit so that I can help parents who have experienced loss of an infant. But I'll have more details on that later. But we are gonna have the foundation put together, and that way, when a product is purchased, a portion will automatically go to the charity as well. So the products are great and they're definitely spreading awareness, but I feel like I need to do more. So I'm in the process of putting together the nonprofit.
Wonderful. Well, good night, everybody. Thank you guys for joining us for this episode of Parent to Parent. Thank you, Janelle.
Thank you.
Okay, broadcast has been stopped. What are your thoughts on it?
Are we still live? No?